I think if you ask 100 people what social inclusion is, you'll probably get 100 different answers. But once we dig down, it's, I think, a pretty simple thing. Changing the world and making the world a better place is about everybody engaging. And where we have a lot of disparity in the world between the haves and the have-nots, the effort of social inclusion is that we bridge that gap. In Brazil, it's a stark gap. You know, it's the 6th largest economy in the world, and they probably sit somewhere below 60th in ranking in social inclusion and the ability to bring the haves and the have-nots together. But the problem exists whether you're in New Orleans in the US or in India or Indonesia. And you know, the whole idea of social inclusion is really that we bring people together to solve permanently and sustainably what are the biggest issues in the world around poverty and health and education. For me, one of the things that I've found is that it's not a matter of people giving to alleviate the distress of others. It's really the fact that by giving, we understand that we all play a role in how we solve major societal issues. You know, I've always found that, you know, writing a check makes you happy for about a minute. Understanding that there's a way for us to play a role in seeing beyond ourselves or taking our blinders off and seeing a bigger part of the world is the first step in understanding that we can actually do something about a bigger part of the world. Unfortunately, we tend to live our lives the way it was given to us, and we put our blinders on and we work 120% a day and we're very busy, and we tend to be blind to misfortunes that are very close to us, let alone the big systemic ones. And so I always try to talk to people about just take your blinders off and talk to people and really look at what's going on, and then it becomes a very natural thing for us to engage. And when we engage, that's what social inclusion is about. It's not about seeing the misery in others and feeling that they're unfortunate. It's about just relating to people and realizing that we all have a role to play together. You know, success for me is, while I'm a big advocate of the Davos Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum, what I want to see is a World Social Inclusion Forum. You know, I'd love to see a conference as big as Davos, but not discussing economic issues, but discussing social inclusion and bringing academia and health and private sector and public sector and NGOs together to really discuss the pertinent issues of how we close the gap on social inclusion. And the interesting thing about all that is that once people engage, it's immensely rewarding. You know, I have a good friend that says that, you know, getting involved in really solving social issues is sort of the non-medical way to medically treat yourself out of depression. And all of us sort of end up sometimes having this ill feeling about being able to do more in life. And the only thing we need to do is take a step forward and engage. There's really amazing work being done all over the world by social entrepreneurs and organizations around the world. And once we engage with that, we find our place. And whatever that little bit of action is, that's social inclusion happening real time. So that's really how I feel about this. I'd love to me there's this systemic way of us to address social inclusion. That's, you know, my vision of a social inclusion world conference where really big issues are discussed and agendas are set. But more importantly to me is the fact that taking that first step and engaging and really understanding that this is not a world of haves and have-nots. It's just a world of people. And when those people get together, amazing things happen. And if we allow the world to be defined by economics and about wealth, then we miss out on most of the world, no matter which side of the spectrum we live in.